righteous, when the river opens for the righteous someday. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, just to get us into the mood for those Liberty lyrics, which are now being distributed amongst the crowd, we're going to sing a nice patriotic melody here. Welcome Sam Johnson. He's really got the pipes.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountain to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
America does not care about black people.
I don't know, who is that? Dave, you want to get up now?
Okay. You want to sing another one?
Do you play anything? Like Dumpless USA or?
No, you know, it's up to you. I did my bit.
I don't know.
Get Lefty up here. Yeah, you can come back up later.
Where's Ingrid?
Miss Ingrid.
I'd like to introduce another daycare owner. This is Jeff Paquette, and he's also running for office in Worcester. And Ingrid Centurion, you're up next, so wherever you are, honey, come on. And now you're going to hear from Jeff and his beautiful... Tell us about your German Shepherd.
How are we doing, everybody? The first thing I'd like everyone to do, can I get an amen for all of our men and women in blue? All right, I'm going to tell you a little story here. I was running for U.S. Congress in District Number 2 for 2020. Unfortunately, I had to suspend my campaign due to having to go through 4 brain surgeries and learn how to re-speak. And please ignore the disrespect happening over here. And so I have recovered. I recovered and I got all of my speech back within 1 year. And now I am back running for U.S. Congress District 2 of Massachusetts. And as a daycare owner, I would first like to say to every parent out here, as I teach my own children, if we need to put any color in front of someone's lives that matter, you are the racist. Period. As a gay man running for Congress as a conservative Republican, I understand that everyone's religious freedoms matter while we do not discriminate against any American citizen.
Somebody told me to go back to my country and I was born at Brigham and Women's. Where should I go?
Now, back to the daycare centers and stuff. Here's the message I would like to send to all of the teachers out here that might be out there, or all children and stuff that are out there involved in daycare centers. If we look at the state of Massachusetts and Charlie Baker, all daycares were ordered back to open in July. If we did not, we lost our federal funding. What is the difference between a child care center and our schools? They're unions. We are not. We will not bow America to any unions. Reopen our schools now. If you would all bear with me. I'm gonna, hopefully help the audience here a little bit. I wasn't prepared to come up here. But I think that the best thing that I can share with you is something that I just wrote. Oppression, intolerance, racism, homophobia, etc. are words tossed around by extremists from the leftist Democratic Party, readily dismissing of any and all of their fellow citizens. Democrats have created division so deep in our society using these words that they have come to mean little more than to sow division and deepen our culture. It's nothing more than the boy who cried wolf. It is heartbreaking to see the country so divided by extremes when over very foundation of our one people free of persecution. We are at a crossroads in America. Our culture, we will fight for liberty. We will... Or will we allow the extremes to tear the fabric of liberty and create a culture that is oppressed and controlled by government and special interests? Simply put, we cannot live in a culture that is canceled by the forces. No, we will fight for liberty. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. Anything else is an attack on America. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jeff, and thanks for your public service. All right, Ingrid Centurion. We need Ingrid Centurion up here. We're also going to hear from a nurse. We have a great lineup of speakers today. Ingrid Centurion ran for state rep in Marlboro. She's a retired lieutenant colonel in the Army. She was a Black Hawk pilot, combat pilot. So she's seen action, she's seen conflict. And we're going to hear from her right now. Also, she's got a book coming out. Oh, her book is already out. Wow, things are happening in real time here. Please welcome Ingrid Centurion.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow, I've been walking around, talking to different people. Thank you all for coming. I know that freedom's important to you. And I was going around asking a woman there who has a music on to please lower her music because I want to listen. I want to listen to someone speak. And the disrespect is just amazing. I came out here today, one, to support my friends who really value freedom. Many of us in the audience here are veterans. Many of us in the audience here come from and escaped socialism and communism. Many people in the audience here are here because they wanted to get out and just breathe the nice air. Okay? So one of the biggest things in America today is to have respect. And I want to talk about respect because I respect our law enforcement officers who are here today. Thank you all for being here. Our law enforcement officers put their lives on the line. Yes, our law enforcement officers put their lives on the line every day. Every day for our freedom. And that's why we're here today. All we want to do is talk about how important freedom is. And that freedom is freedom to walk down the street. That freedom is to get into your vehicle and drive. And that's freedom to breathe. That's right. And freedom is so important, ladies and gentlemen. Freedom is so important. my elders, I respect my parents, I respect our law enforcement officers. And what we're lacking here today is respect. If people would lower their music, stop screaming, and listen. The commonality that everybody has here today, I believe, whether you agree with me or not, is that we all value freedom. Do we understand that? We all value freedom, but most importantly, this comes with respect. And my message for everyone here today is you have to respect each other. You have to respect your husband or your spouse. You have to respect your boss. You have to respect your children. If we don't have respect in American society, we're never going to grow. There's no need for people to be so disrespectful here today. While I speak, because all I want to do is spread a message. And let me tell you what that message is. That message is that I respect you, and then you need to respect me. And this is a fun event here today to have music and people. And you all need to respect our law enforcement officers. You all need to respect yourself. Thank you. Somebody gave me a mask today. Thank you. But you know what? I have the freedom to choose to wear it or not wear it. Okay? I have the freedom to breathe. And I had the freedom to fight for this country for 22 years in the United States Army. And we have many veterans here. And what you all need to understand is many people have lost their lives for the freedoms we have in this country. And so I thank you, the Black Lives Matter people, for quieting down right now to listen. Because if you don't listen and you don't learn, you're never going to grow. You will always be stuck wherever you came from, and you're never going to leave that place. You're going to be stuck in that hole, and that's what I don't want for anyone. We all have to live, we have to learn, and we have to love and respect America, because many, many, many have died for this freedom. For this freedom, people. That's what you need to understand. So thank you so much for coming out here today. I respect each and every one of you. And we're not here to fight. And we must respect our law enforcement officers and the laws of America. If we have that, we have nothing. We have just lawless people running around recklessly. And we don't need that. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Okay, everybody, just a little friendly reminder. This is a family festival, a family freedom festival. I'm pretty alarmed to see little children in the middle of conflict. Would really appreciate it. This sort of divisiveness is going to destroy our country. We're here to celebrate freedom. Freedom is universal. It's essential to all of us. It's God-given, just like our rights, protected under the Constitution. You're going to be hearing from someone who's an expert on that in a few minutes, but first, I have an RN who would like to talk to you about how the lack of freedom over the last year has impacted her and her work. Please welcome Alex Beck.
Hi everybody. Thank you for having me here. This is our Worldwide Day of Freedom. It is global and we are so happy to see people. Thank you for getting out here and breathing fresh air and just be appreciative of the life that you have in the country that we live in. So I'm going to read my speech that I spoke on January 6, 2021 in front of Washington, D.C. As part of the Global Frontline Nurse is. So I would happily share it here with you because even speaking it there was not well received or even played in the media. So I need people to hear what I have to say as a medical professional. I recognize you. Hello everyone, my name is Alex Flett. I am here today as a resident of Massachusetts. I have 2 formal degrees and I'm a registered nurse with experience in adult medical, surgical, oncology, hospital nursing, and school nursing of all grade levels. I have spent the last 4 years working as a full-time licensed school nurse in the Commonwealth. I am a mother, a health professional, and a concerned citizen. In 2020, my role as a school nurse was eliminated. In 2020, I was not given a reason for my non-renewal, and the school union did not offer me a transfer. In 2020, I witnessed discrimination in the workplace and spoke up against the bullying and negative labels being placed on families, parents, and children who make medical choices that differ from the majority. When people speak out against the narrative, they are censored, discredited, painted as crazy. When nurses speak out against the narrative, they risk their license, their careers, their reputation. Please hear me with an open heart and mind and understand that I am here to protect my family and yours and our lawful rights of medical choice, informed consent, and medical treatment without propaganda or coercion. Our pursuit of happiness and health should not be dictated by a government entity, and we must support each other during this questionable time, finding common beliefs and connection with our fellow citizens, not divisive name-calling and hate towards those of us who speak of truth and freedom. As a registered nurse, my role has always been to teach, educate, and empower my patients with a full understanding of their health care and to advocate for the rights of my patient first, even if that means questioning other medical professionals or asking for clarification to determine the best plan of treatment. Across our country and in my home state, I see proposed and enacted legislation and mandates that threaten basic human rights, that provide a uniform schedule of treatment to a very diverse population of people, that remove any area for questions or personalized care, that aren't based on a proper risk-benefit analysis, that pressure an experimental medicine on the general public, pregnant women, elderly, African Americans, and now children, and that impose unconstitutional conditions on the exercise of the universal right of informed consent. Mandates that condition the right to work, right to live, and right to participate in society. I find this very concerning, and I'm here to spread truth, ask questions, and encourage you to ask questions as well. I cannot stand by and watch our great country and the freedoms we were built on be taken away. November 12, 2020, a study in the Journal of American Medical Association estimated the years of life lost from our U.S. children associated with primary school closures in the 2020 lockdown. Missed instruction could be associated with an estimated 5.53 million years of life lost. Findings suggested this decision to close U.S. public primary schools may be associated with a decrease of life expectancy for our U.S. children. In October 2020, a Germany-wide registry with data on 25,900 children reviewed the effects of mouth and nose coverings. Impairments caused by the mask were reported by 68% of parents, including significant increases in headache, irritability, less happiness, reluctance to go to school, impaired learning, drowsiness, and malaise. Are we sacrificing the health of our younger generations with the illusion of public protection? Who is looking at the long-term effects on our children's mental, behavioral, and social health? Preschool children and younger are wearing masks for hours on end, unable to see and interpret facial expressions from caregivers, being figuratively silenced, taught to fear each other, fear our fellow humans, fear the world itself. Over the summer, a child whose mask came down during a ride on a park slide was seen pinching their nose, genuinely afraid to breathe air. Children that have seen my 3-year-old not wearing a mask have ran away from him in fear, yelling things like, "No, no, I don't want the coronavirus." Of course we want to promote safe and healthy socialization and development of our children. I am here to speak for all of the parents, children, future parents, and future children. Your decisions of what is best for the health and happiness of your family should be respected. Strangers, legislators, public health officials, none of them know your family's health history and beliefs. I know of 4 COVID deaths from this year from friends. I personally know of 7 deaths from non-COVID causes, one of which was death by suicide. The mental manipulation and fear-mongering that has occurred in 2020 from our mainstream media and legislators is dramatic and dangerous. My son has a significant health history, including brain surgeries, brain infection, hydrocephalus, seizure, and premature birth. I realized through his health journey that his specific case was not being considered, that he would receive the same schedule of biologics as a routine child, that no one owns the liability of the risks imposed on him except our family, that I was the sole person who could proactively decide and advocate for his unique health. That is the role of a mother. That is the role of a nurse. I support freedom, medical, religious, patient rights, informed consent, moral conscience, science, humanity, ethical care, diversity, acceptance, tolerance, and love. A good medical professional listens and supports each person in the best way possible for their unique needs. Mothers and fathers, caregivers, we need you to stand up for your children. We need real support for our healthcare workers, patients, children's society, policies and practices based on whole body health. We must open the conversation outside of the government bodies and pharmaceutical companies to those doctors, nurses, and health professionals that are offering valid alternative information. Nurses are patient advocates first and foremost. We are angels on earth. We support ethical and humane care from birth to death, and we are here for the fight. I hope to empower each of you to speak your truth, remember your intuition of what's real and right, and to shine your light for all to see and join us on the great pursuit of health, happiness, and freedom. Thank you, and God bless.
Celebrating freedom, protecting freedom, right down to the freedom to choose whether you, and especially your children, are forced to be vaccinated, whether it's the flu, the COVID shot, or anything else. We should all have the choice about what goes into our bodies and what goes into the bodies of our children. So thank you very much, Alex. So we've been talking about how we have to stand up, get involved in local politics, know what's going on. And we have a woman here today who's actually done that. She's taken a step and she has a bill at the legislature. She's going to tell you about it now. Julie Boris. Please welcome Julie Boris.
Hi everybody. My name is Julie Boris. I'm here today with Health Rights Mass. Okay, right in the middle. Okay. And we have 2 bills in the legislature right now that protect your right, your fundamental right to make choices about your own health care without coercion or discrimination. So we have 2 bills, and we're here today with postcards already written for you that you can come on over to our table. We're over there. You can fill them out. We're going to send one to each of your legislatures. You're going to take one for a friend, and we're going to flood them with grassroots support. This is a bill you can support. I support this bill. I'm tired of beating back exemptions. I'm tired of people trying to take away my rights. And this says we have the fundamental right, and you cannot force someone to do this for a job or an education. And if you do, it's unlawful, and there are penalties. So we need everybody to support this bill. So if you can come on over to the health rights table, we're way over there up by the fence, and just fill out a couple of these postcards. It'll take 5 minutes. Thanks, everybody.
So there's somebody who's not only taking action, but making it very easy for you to take action and make a difference. And I really urge everyone here to visit all the vendors. We've got some great raffles going on over there. There's a huge gift basket. You should check it out. Also, we're collecting for a freedom fund today. You'll see people in the crowd, and if you make a contribution, you get to choose a little trinket or a gift out of the goodie bag. So please do contribute to the Freedom Fund. We're going to be helping the city of Bridgewater, and also some other freedom fighters that are in need of help that you'll hear more about later. So, in addition to taking action with your government, you need to know your Constitution. You need to know the Bill of Rights. You need to know how to stand up for your rights protected under the Party for Massachusetts, co-chair for the Constitution Party Northeast, Mr. Dave Kopatz, who a lot of you know from Red Pill Politics, a very popular online show on Sunday nights. Dave Kopatz, let's hear it. And I just have to give Dave a little reminder that this is a family event and it's very challenging for him to keep it G-rated, but he has assured me he's going to do that today. Thanks, Dave.
All right, I'm going to try my best. How's everyone doing today? All right. All right, I don't always make it out here to the East Coast. I'm a native of a land known as West Massachusetts. They kind of forget about us out there. But it's the home of Shays Rebellion. I grew up on Route 202, Daniel Shays Highway, a little place where a bunch of angry farmers started to shut down a corrupt system. That's right, they marched their way across the state heading for Boston. And here I am today. I wanted to say a few words about the Constitution, obviously. But before the Constitution was a little something that's pretty important, and we often forget about it. And that is our Declaration of Independence. Okay? The Constitution is a document created by men that can be amended by our government. But that Declaration of Independence, it is a declaration. It is as good as written in stone and cannot be amended by those fools. So we're going to go back and please remember, our independence is individual, as the Constitution describes. All right, they're not collective rights. They're God-given rights given to you based on your own existence. By the nature of you being a human being, being born into this world, you have individual rights that cannot be taken from you. Not by anybody, not by any government. The First Amendment guarantees that we can always share our voice. The press, or prostitutes as I call them nowadays, they seem to be working for a political establishment, not reporting news to the people. The First Amendment gave them very special protections for them to do a very important job. They have failed. It's the only reason there's a red pill politics is I feel every time I turn on a network TV that I am being lied to, propagandized. The most truth I get is when I talk to people like you. The independents out there are the ones that are bringing the truth forward, and that's going to continue. Our First Amendment's being trampled. They're telling churches they can't open, that people can't practice their faith. The press, I gave me a few words on them. The Second Amendment, under attack here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The Second Amendment is the only place in the Constitution where the word necessary is used. Shall not infringe, right? Am I right? Do not consent, will not comply. That's what we got to come back with. If the government is going to get together, have a discussion, have a vote, write that vote on paper and publish it, it better be in line with the Constitution. Because a law, you see, must be in line with the Constitution or it is no law at all. And if it fails to meet muster, what are we obligated to do? Do not consent, will not comply. There's nothing in the Constitution that mandates on us that we have got to cooperate with tyranny. Ever. The 14th Amendment. We've got a mixed audience today. Some of them are a little late to the game. The 14th Amendment guarantees equal protection for every person. It does not matter how you practice your faith. whether you're male or female, what color your skin is. This has already been settled, and when government comes up and its agents, the bureaucrats, I call them the new Soviet, people that have been given powers of government that you cannot elect out. Your regional planning commissions, the MMA. All right, what about the Massachusetts Teachers Association? Yeah, I did a little research on those jamokis recently. I thought they were a 501c3, a charitable nonprofit, you see. Well, guess what I found when I went and took a look? They're a 501c5, an agricultural and horticultural nonprofit. Can you imagine that? Oh, and it's also to include labor. So the more I looked, when I saw their $30 million salaries, and I look at how else they're spending their money. I mean, I'm no accountant, but I think what I was looking at is an organization laundering money to teachers' unions and to workers' unions and doing nothing for the kids. We got to wake up to have some situational awareness of what governs us, what is around us, what is really government and what is not. And I'm telling you right now, folks, those that are coming out and telling you your businesses are essential and some of your businesses are not, they don't get it. Commerce Clause, a mandate on government to keep commerce regular. The moment they went face on against that, we started down a trajectory that you can't help but trample the Constitution in many ways, and they have. Now they're deciding who's essential in the crowd, how they're going to divvy up these vaccinations that are not vaccinations. They do not meet the definition of a vaccination, but they're telling you, yeah, you're essential, you get to go first, you maybe not. Since when does government get to decide amongst a nation of free people? Because that's what we are, whether you know it or not. The mandates, every restriction on you. Not once did Governor Baker come to your store, to your house, and shut you down. The ones that shut you down were you. You consented to tyranny. It's time we stood together. And I mean, for the first time in a very long time, this nation has